Hello students, welcome to EDULUX Sign Up online classes platform. So students, we have discussed what we are going to learn in this chapter. So first thing first, we are going to learn about the pictographs, and you might have studied about these topics in earlier classes, but let us again recall the topic. Pictograph. So what is a pictograph? A pictograph is a method to display some data, okay, in terms of pictures. So you can see here we have a picture which is displaying some data about the flavors of pizzas liked by children, right? Here we have the flavor of pizzas liked by children. So in this case, students, you can see here, number 1 is cheese pizza, okay, number 2 is pepperoni, number 3 is margherita, and number 4 is BBQ chicken, right? Here we have 4 types of pizzas, and number of children are given here in terms of pictures, where one complete pizza, it is given that one complete pizza represent 4 children. So in terms of pizza, we have just represented the number of children. So this thing is called pictograph. So by pictograph, we can now analyze that how many children like cheese pizza. So you can see 4 students, 4 numbers, 4, and this is 3. So the 3/4 of a pizza is equal to actually 3. So when you can see a complete pizza represents 4 children, then 3 parts of this pizza will represent 3 children. So 4 plus 4 plus 3 is actually the number of children liking the cheese flavor, okay. So this is actually is equal to 12 plus 3 is equal to 15. So 15 children like cheese flavor, okay. Next is pepperoni pizza. So pepperoni pizza, the number of children liking this pizza is actually is equal to 4 number of 4 and 1. This is the 1/4 of this pizza. So this is equal to 1 student, 1 children. So 4 plus 1 is equal to 9 children are actually liking the pepperoni pizza. Come to the third one, which is margherita. In this case, you can see 4 children, and then 3 children. So 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 3 is 11 children are liking this margherita pizza. And last is BBQ chicken. In this case, you can see these are 4 children and 1 is here. So 4 plus 1 is 5 children are actually liking the BBQ chicken. So by this pictograph, we can just see, or just we can analyze by looking at the pictures without actually calculating the number of children's. You can see there are more pizzas, means this is the pizza mostly liked by the children. This is the most popular pizza among the children. Cheese pizza is the most popular pizza among the children. By just looking at this pictograph, we can give this information, we can say this information, okay. And BBQ chicken is the least favorite of the children. As you can see, only 5 children are liking this pizza. So by pictograph, we can just give the information about the children, that which pizza they like more or which they don't like. So by this picture, we can say, students, by this picture, we can say a pictograph is a pictorial representation of data using symbols. So we use symbols or pictures to depict the information. Okay, so we are representing this information with the help of symbols, or you can say pictures. So this thing is called pictograph. Now, how many students like pepperoni pizza? So the question is here, how many students like the pepperoni pizza? So you can say, students, by this we can say this is 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So by this information, we can say 9 children are liking. 9 children likes the margherita pizza, or sorry, it is being asked that we need to find the pepperoni pizza. So number of students they are liking pepperoni pizza is equal to 9. So this is equal to 9. So 9 students are liking this pepperoni pizza, right? With the help of this pictograph, we have just given the answer to this problem, right? We may have problems like this. Which one is the most favorite pizza? As you can see, the information is being asked here is which one is the most favorite pizza. So without actually calculating the number of children here, we can just say this is the pizza mostly liked by the children, which means cheese pizza. You can answer this as cheese pizza is the most favorite among the children. So this type of information, students, we can provide with the help of a pictograph. So a pictograph is a a method to represent the data. But you can see with the help, you have to draw a lot of information to make a pictograph. Okay, it requires the construction of these pizzas and a table, so it requires a lot of times. It requires a lot of time. So is it better or not? We will discuss it later, and we will see some more methods to represent the data. Okay, let us continue this. Let us understand a bar graph. What is a bar graph? So you may have also studied about this bar graph. What is a bar graph? A bar graph is a technique to represent the data. So bar graph में आप बच्चों क्या करते हैं? We construct some bars representing the height of the bars will represent the number of that particular thing. Okay, so as you can see, we have a bar graph here. So a bar graph is given. So in this case, we have a x-axis and an y-axis. So two axes are given, x-axis and y-axis. So along x-axis we provide some data, and the number of frequency, the number of people's liking or disliking that product is given along the y-axis, and the height of this bar actually represents the number of people's here. So this bar goes up to here. So this is the number of peoples. If it is given that this is equal to 10, this is equal to 20, this is equal to 30, this is equal to 40, and this is equal to 50, and this is equal to 60, 70, and last is the 80. So if this information is given along the y-axis, then we can say, and along x-axis it is given that this is India, or you can say this is Pakistan, Bangladesh, ठीक है, and this is Sri Lanka. So four countries are given here. And this is the number of peoples that are liking mangoes in these countries. So we can say in India 50, this data is actually in crores. Okay, so this is crores, the data is in crores. So this is 50 crore peoples are actually liking mangoes in India. 50 crore peoples are liking mangoes in India. Here we have represented the number of peoples with the help of this bar graph. Okay, so we can say in Pakistan 60 means 60 crore peoples are liking mangoes in Pakistan, and for Bangladesh we can say 70 crore peoples are liking the 70 crore. You can say the actually it is not relevant to the population. As you can see, there may the population number may be less than this, but in this case, for this example, we can consider that 70 crore peoples are liking mangoes in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. 80 crore peoples are liking mangoes in Sri Lanka. Or you can say इस करोड़ को हम हटा के यहां से बच्चों हम कह सकते हैं परसेंटेज. Okay, we can talk about percentage, which means that 50% peoples are liking mangoes in India, 60% peoples are liking mangoes in Pakistan, and in Bangladesh 70% peoples are liking mangoes, and in Sri Lanka 80% peoples are liking mangoes. So this is just an example to depict what a bar graph shows. Okay, so along x-axis we have some information given here, along y-axis we have the data, which means how many peoples or how many these things are here. Okay, so with the help of this bar graph, or you can see this is actually quite easier to draw as compared to pictograph. This is quite easier to draw, and it depicts the same information also. Okay, so this is the bar graph, and a display of information using bars of uniform width, their heights being proportional to the respective values. So this is a bar graph. So with the help of bar graph, students, we can always represent some data, right? And these are the widths of the bars. These are the widths of these bars, which are actually rectangular. So these are the widths and these are the height. So height and width. Height may be varied. Actually, it depends on the proportionality. Okay, and width will be same for all these bars. Width will be same for all these bars, but height may vary. Okay, so with the help of bar graph, we can depict or we can represent some data which is like this. Okay, next is, students, next let us consider another example of bar graph. So the number of students in class 8 is given like this. So 50, 100, 150, 200 and 250, 300 and 350. So this is the number of students in any class 8, and we have academic year along this x-axis. as you can see, and this bar stands for 2003 and 2004. Means in 2003 and 2004, this is the actually for academic years, academic session 2003 and 2004, actually 100 students were there in class 8. For the year 3-4, only 100 students were there in class 8, and in 2004 and 5 academic session there were 200 students in this class. There were 200 students. As you can see, this line is parallel to this hand and this height is representing 200 students were there in the academic year 2004 and 2005. Similarly, we can say about this year 2005 to 2006, we were having 250 students in this academic year. For 6 and 7, we can say 300 students were there in class 8, and 7 and 8, we can say that 350 students were there for the session 2007 and 2008. So with the help of this bar graph, we have just depicted how many students were there in one academic session during the different years. Okay, so there are some questions which we will answer from this bar graph. Let us just have them. So first question, what is the information given by the graph? Actually, what we are having from this graph is, students, the information given by these graphs is actually, this graph is saying that how many students were there in an academic year. So we are getting this information from this graph. So you can answer it and you can say it is giving the information about the number of students, that how many students were there in an academic year. Okay, next question is, in which year is the increase in the number of students maximum? So we can compare the different years also. As you can see, it is the minimum. This bar graph is of the minimum height, which means there were only 100 students in this year, but in next year 200 students were there, in next 250, in next 350, and in the last year, which is actually 2007 and 8, 350 students were there. This is actually 300, so 350 students were there. So if you compare that, the increase of numbers in the students was maximum in this year. From 100 to 200, the increase in the number of students is actually 50 here, 50 here, 50 here. This increase is of only 50 students. But from 2004 to 2005, moving from 4 to 5, we are having an increase of 100 students. So in which year, now we can tell in which year the increase is maximum. So we can tell from 2003-4 to 2004-5, the increase was maximum. Okay, the increase in the number of students was maximum from this year to this year. So we have just told about this information by just looking at the graph. As you can see, the height of this graph is minimum, and as comparing this bar to this bar, we can see the increase is the largest. है ना, ये आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे जो हमारे पास हाइट है इस बार ग्राफ की, और इसकी जो हाइट है आप ध्यान से देखिए, ये इसका जस्ट डबल है, ये इसका जस्ट डबल है, विच मीन्स इसका एकदम से डबल हो गया नंबर यहाँ पे, विच मीन्स दिस नंबर इज द लार्जेस्ट, एंड वी कैन आंसर दिस प्रॉब्लम एज वेल. ओके, नाउ कम टू द next question is, let me just erase it so we can just have the next question. So next question, students, is in which year is the number of students maximum? So आपसे पूछा है कि कौन से साल में number of students was maximum. So we can see the largest bar graph is जो tallest bar graph है आपका वो क्या है, 350 है. So answer is 350, and in which year? It is 2007 to 2008 is the year in which the number of students was maximum. Okay. And last question is, the number of students during 2005-6 is twice that of 2003 and 4. ये आपसे पूछा गया है, ये पूछा है आपसे, बताइए इसको, आप ग्राफ को एनालाइज कीजिए, बताइए if this information given here is true or false. So by looking at the graph, we can see in 2003 and 4, this is the year, and in 2005 and 6, 5 and 6 is this year. So in this year the students were 100, and in this year students were 250. So as you can see, 250 is not the twice of 100. 250 is not the twice of 100. So we can say this information is wrong. So this information is wrong by just looking at the graph. Since in year 2003 and 4 the number of students was only 100, and in 5 and 6 the number of students was 250. Now we can say that 250 is just 2.5 times of 100, not 2 times, which means this information is wrong. So students, this is how we just analyze the bar graphs, or we will now understand how to represent some data with the help of bar graphs, and how to represent or how to compare some data with the help of bar graphs by drawing double bars. So let us just have this information. We will discuss about this in next video. Till then, keep smiling and keep learning with EDULUX Signcap classes. Thank you so much.